On July 24th, the LBMA went, as I call it, data dark and suffered raids. These are not illegal raids. They're perfectly legal through contracts that they sell, called futures contracts. What happened, according to a source of mine who actually knows some of the participants, let's call them the Dirty Dozen, but they're heroes. A dozen or so parties, think of billionaires in the Arab world and China and maybe a Russian or two. The billionaires demanded a huge amount of gold. They employed two insiders within the supply stream, within the LBMA itself, who helped coordinate upstream sourcing of gold. They did not use any Brinks insurance contracting because, as they say, it would have displayed red flags for the simultaneous legal raids. They employed military precision. The military precision was astonishing. London fellows were defenseless, and as my source says, this will not end until the Anglo bankers are dead and denutted. They're being exposed for their fractional practices, which are anywhere between 45 ounces to 100 ounces being sold and bartered with, or whatever, per ounce that they've actually got. They're involved in a huge fractional scheme that's backfiring. And my source said the raids will be conducted every 10 to 14 days until these guys are dead.
We know from recent testimony made to the CFTC, the Commodity Futures Trading Corporation, from insiders within the London Bullion Market Association, that they have 100 times more paper outstanding than there is physical gold.
Precious metals are financial assets, and like currencies and T-bills and T-bonds, they trade in the multiples of 100 times the underlying physical.
Now, flash forward to where we are today. There are a few billionaires out there, let's call them gold vigilantes. These billionaire gold vigilantes, sensing an opportunity, have forced the exchange to give physical delivery, thus exposing the fact that they don't have the gold to deliver. So you've got this massive short squeeze, you've got the gold vigilantes, you've got the global Ponzi scheme that is the US dollar, which is imploding in real time.
These are angry depositors who are really ticked off that their allocated accounts have been raided by the London Bullion Market Association. These are not unallocated accounts that the billionaires hold. They're trying to protect their wealth and retrieve it, take it to Hong Kong, take it to Dubai, and get it the hell out of London, and maybe Switzerland perhaps as well, because they're fearful that the organizers and managers of these exchanges are illegally taking allocated accounts.
This story is basically like Mount Vesuvius about to erupt. I mean, we're talking about a global scandal here that's much bigger than the Bernie Madoff scandal, much bigger than the crash of 2008. Am I not right?
I think yes, and here's some corroborating evidence and events. On July 28th, just 4 days later, there was very heavily unusual gold inventory movement with the COMEX. So it's not just the London, it's the COMEX as well. And here's another beauty. On the same exact weekend that the LBMA went data dark, my source tells me that Bank of America had a bank failure. Not an accident, it had a failure that was covered up over the weekend with a hasty rescue by the U.S. Fed. So I think we're working our way not only to some kind of a gold market seizure or recognition of absent supply. I think we've got just a whole ball of wax with the sovereign bonds, the currencies, and the gold all interrupted simultaneously. There'll be a global recognition that the supply of gold is not there. And then I think we're going to see some phony stories like the second phenomenon I was going to refer to, and that's, there was a story a month ago about theft at the Henry Bath and Son warehouse in London of copper plates. Wouldn't it be interesting if there was a vast reported theft of silver plates, silver bullion, silver bars, and then London announces, hey, sorry, we don't have no more silver. Well, I don't care if it's by hook or by crook. I'd like to see London admit they have no silver. By the way, there's a very interesting legal liability issue. If a warehouse has a theft, then a tenant who stores metal at the warehouse has the burden of proof on him. There's a legal liability only if the warehouse can be proved to be criminally negligent. And my guess is that board is going to be dominated by J.P. Morgan and Goldman Sachs and Barclays and RBS. So you're not going to be able to prove anything.